It's my great pleasure to be with you today. My name is Nathaniel Osgood. I'm going to be your instructor for this course, and it's an honor to have all of you here. I'm hoping to begin with some introductory remarks, but to hit the ground running quite quickly with getting in front of you a glimpse of some of the types of modeling that we're going to be talking about today, so you can poke and peek at it before we cover it in a more conceptual level. Just by way of background, I'm a faculty member here. I'm in the Department of Computer Science, my home department, but for about 20 years now, I've been spending virtually all of my efforts in helping to use computers to improve decision-making in the health area. And by virtue of that, I do associate appointments in community health and epi here on campus, as well as in biomedical engineering. The work that we'll be talking about today is a big component of my professional research, and it constitutes a very exciting and fast-developing area of the health space, one that carries international interests and interests throughout different levels of the healthcare system here in Canada. Today, I'm going to be giving you a whirlwind introduction to this topic, the topic of dynamic modeling as applied to health, by looking at a number of particular model case studies, by looking at a set of different model types we use, all within the dynamic modeling rubric, and by talking about the ways in which it can address and other ways in which it's limited to addressing health questions. Okay? This won't be a day where I'm going to be talking alone. We're very lucky to have some of my students who will be contributing as well in the form of case studies that we've conducted with partners from around the country and from around the world. And I'll be pleased to introduce them this afternoon as part of a series of case studies. This morning, though, I first wanted to alert you to certain resources that are going to be critical for delivering of this course. Resources that we're going to be using time and time again throughout the day in order to provide you with example models, in order to provide you with slides that are going to illustrate some of the topics that I'll be discussing. And to that end, I wanted to point you to some of these resources starting right away. The most important of them will be at what we call a tiny URL, and it's shown here. Now, it's tiny both in its length and its size on the screen. We're working to make it bigger on this screen, but we're limited right now by the length of this cord. But if you go to your browser, now, I should note here that we will be depending on wireless access. The TAs have set up wireless accounts for everyone in this room who's not a U of S person already. I saw them circulating to help people get online, but I wanted to ask, Anahita, can you comment on, is there some information that I should provide to the participants here, some steps they should take to get online, or are they already all set up for that? Everyone's online? If you're not online, please raise your hand, and one of the three outstanding teaching assistants will be with you to help set you up, okay? So we have one there at the center table, we have another one over here, okay, and a third one over here, okay? So has Aiden stepped out of the room temporarily? Okay. Okay. Yes. Question.
Is there a way we can make the screen bigger so we can see it back here?
I think at least one TA is currently running to try to move this back, but we need a longer cable. So they're trying to obtain a longer cable as we speak from the powers that be. Okay. And I apologize for this. What I can do is do the following, and I'll do this where necessary during the day. I'm going to go call up a screen here, and we will make this have a bigger font here. Okay, so let's, maybe what I'll do is, for lack of a better way to do it, I'll just call up a word processor, and I'll make it very large so you can see it here. Okay. Here we go, and we will do a new file. Here we go. So this is what I'd like you to enter here. So it's http://tinyurl.com/SEA modeling 2016 materials. Now, I apologize if that URL doesn't live quite up to its tininess. It's one which we had used for the. Okay, that's a bit too big. Here we go. That's what it is here. Now, if you go to this URL, what you should see is a set of materials that have been designed for distribution to those as part of today. Those materials are not static. They will be evolving during the day as we post additional ones, but I'm just going to illustrate what you should see. You should see something like the following, and it's taking a bit of time to load, but it should say lecture slides, models for possible examination in class, other example models, and then there's a tentative schedule and background materials. Let me go back to the URL in case any of you have encountered issues with it. I recognize that it's kind of truncating over there on the right, so let me just pull it out some more, okay? Do you see that okay? Okay. So who needs TA help here on any piece of this? We're going to be going back to this throughout the day to get models to download, and also for the slides that I'll be presenting, particularly this morning, but also for some case studies, okay? As I say, the materials as of tonight will be different than what they are now. I'll probably upload slightly revised versions of slides. I will place up some additional case study slides and probably some additional models, okay? So once you go to this, are people okay with this? Or have you gotten here right now? Okay. So just raise your hand if you need more time. Once you're there, I'd like to orient you as to materials. The first thing is there's a background materials PDF which provides a link you've just followed and a link to some videos. Now these videos are not yet created. We are going to be creating them today, and one of them is being created as we speak. It's of this session. Each session in this boot camp, I'm going to aspire to create a video of it. So if you want to go back and see anything, if you didn't catch something I said, you'll be able to go back on those videos. They are posted on YouTube, and this is a link to them, okay, to a playlist on YouTube. You will also find some example learning resources for people who are interested in going a little bit deeper. And you will also find some notes on sort of collaborative modeling opportunities, some references in the literature to this sort of modeling, and to a community site which is in the works, which we're going to be launching with support by the United States National Institutes of Health within the span of about another month or two, okay? So that's background materials, some reference materials. There's also a tentative schedule, and I emphasize tentative, but it's going to hit on sort of some of the major highlights of today. And I want to highlight the fact that within this schedule, I've not only summarized the topics that I will be covering, but also some of the lessons that I'm hoping you can take away from them. Now, I haven't distributed binoculars, so you can't see these lessons from where you are. But if you go review this document, you should be able to read about some of the major take-home messages for some of the presentations. That's a good point of reference, not just to know what's going to be covered, but to reflect on what has been covered, okay? Okay, next, there's a folder called lecture slides. This has lecture slides which will be supplemented all through the day. I'm going to be hitting most of those that you see here this morning. And if anyone wants to go load in the lecture slides and follow along, it might help you, flip back a few slides or flip forward a few slides to see where I'm going, flip back to clarify a point I've made. So these slides are in PDF form. They'll probably be modified, tweaked here and there, and I'll try to post the updated slides tonight, okay? But that's basically the slides that we'll be covering this morning. And this is, of all the things, this is probably the most operationally important. This is the one we'll be coming back to many, many times. There's, within participant resources, something called models for possible examination in class. There's going to be a whole swack of models to go into other example models, but as of yet, that doesn't hold contents. But I'll probably put 70 or so models into there by tonight. These are a set of models here that we will be looking at during the day, okay? And starting in a few minutes, we're going to be using some of these models. And so to that end, maybe by way of showing you how to use this and by way of getting us ready for the first hands-on exercise, maybe what I will ask you to do is to scroll down here. You'll notice these are of all sorts of types. Health economics models, models on childhood infectious diseases, environmental contamination like might happen from MRSA, factors involving interaction of weight and diabetes, service-seeking behavior as well, and healthcare service delivery, models of hospitals that have been built here in Saskatchewan, etc. I would ask you to go down to one that is called smoking disparities, okay? There's one called smoking disparities, and it's just at the bottom of my slides, so I'm just gonna move this up a little bit. So hopefully, oh man, okay, let's try this. Okay, smoking disparities version 8. Do you see that? Yeah. Now, Anahita, I'd like you to close and lock the door so they don't all scream when they see something. No, I'm joking. You don't have to lock them in. There's fire codes after all. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you go click on this, okay, you should actually see something come up, which is going to be very unfriendly looking. And don't mind that, okay? But how did I do that? Well, I selected it, and you can press enter, or you can, I think it's double click it, okay? I think a single click won't do it, it'll just select it, but a double click. But the key thing you're going to be doing is downloading this model. Now, the deal is that this varies a little bit by browser, the exact location of the icon. On my browser, it's up here in the upper right, and I'm going to have to pull it over here so you can see it. Do you see this little one? If you push this download, it will actually start a download occurring here, and it's hey, come on, we're dealing with limited screen real estate here. Okay, I'm going to be enlarging the screen in a bit, but this smoking disparities, that just downloaded. Now, once it's downloaded on your computer, you're going to be able to open it with the software package we'll be using today, which is called AnyLogic, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing during the day. Whoa. Hopefully not that. We're going to be going and, okay, this is going to be a challenge. Pardon me for a moment as I attempt to adjust it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do here during the day is we'll go into this models for examination. You might just keep it open because periodically we're going to go download a new model. For example, here's one that's modeling the evolution of diabetes in Saskatoon, okay, from stages of weight gain to pre-diabetes to full-blown frank type 2 diabetes before diagnosis, after. If you want to open a model, you click on it, double click on it, or press enter when you've selected it, and you'll press that button to download it. Okay, now, some help is needed. Who else would like TA help here? Okay, okay, another person in the front table? Okay, that's great. Okay, so we're going to be downloading it, and then having downloading it, we're going to be opening those models, okay? Now, I made the mistake of just closing that, because really I should keep that open, just so we can give you a view that you'll be seeing, okay? I'm going to give people just a moment to try that out, and I'm actually going to adjust the screen so it's a little bit less constrained in one regard. So here we go. I'm going to save our first video.